Good afternoon, everyone. In today's meeting, we'll be discussing assessment and reporting for the number and algebra strand in mathematics and the impact it has on student learning and understanding. Assessment in mathematics is very important for our students to help them with their learning, and also is important for us to be able to identify their progress, their strengths and their weaknesses, and what areas we need to focus on in our planning. The assessment strategies we'll be discussing today are observations, questioning and portfolios. Okay, so observations are a type of formative assessment or assessment for learning. This is to collate information that occurs in the classroom every day and really helps with documenting achievement and progress areas that need work. Observations are particularly useful in mathematics and the number and algebra strand, as it helps to identify how students are working out their answers. For example, a Year 1 class may be working on content descriptor ACMN A105. The teacher observes this and takes note of how the students may be working out this multiplication. So students might be using physical tools such as tokens to work out their answers, or students might be using mental problems to solve skills, or just using thinking strategies to identify their answer. This is a great strength of observation, as a teacher is able to see and record what is occurring in the moment without having to remember later. It also has a direct impact on student learning and teaching, as it assists the teacher in planning and tailoring lessons directed at individual students or groups based on what is being observed. Lesson plans can then focus on increasing student strength and working on their areas of weakness. It also has an easy strategy to implement, as the teacher observes what the students are doing on a day-to-day basis, so they can take notes without disrupting the class or any lessons that are occurring. Limitations include that the teacher needs to be prepared for what to focus on when they are observing, otherwise what they may collect may not be relevant. The information collected as well cannot be solely relied on, as it needs to be explored through formal assessment to support the observation. It is also important to have an appropriate filing system for recorded notes to ensure valuable information is not lost. So for record keeping, this can be done in the form of anecdotal notes or even recording sessions. These are both very effective and time efficient ways of keeping records of information. So for questioning, this is another formative assessment strategy and goes hand in hand with observations. This is a way of actively involving students in their learning and provides them with a chance to reflect on their work. Question, listen, question is a great technique by Mewbourne and Huberty in 1999. They discussed this in their article, and this approach has a direct impact on student learning and achievement in mathematics, as it encourages thoughtful responses from students and then assists with clarifying and extending their thinking when asking follow-up questions. For example, the Year 5 content descriptor ACMN A100 must involve questioning to identify what strategies the student has used to solve the multiplication problem. Whether it be mental or written, the teacher won't know what the student has done unless they explain it. This gives students the opportunity to think about and explain their thought process as well. One of the benefits of this technique of questioning is that it enables teachers to see how the students are working out their problems. Other benefits include that students are actively participating in questioning, and can involve individual students or groups of students. Limitations of this include that the teacher needs to be making sure that they're asking the right questions to ensure that they're provoking a thinking or a thoughtful response from the student. Planning and preparation is also important to assist the teacher, again, with asking important questions, with knowing what questions they're going to ask. So this type of assessment strategy also includes a lot of wait time, so it can be time consuming while the student is trying to come up with an answer. So similar to observations, record keeping of questioning may be in the form of anecdotal notes or recordings, even written questions on student work samples. So the last one we'll be discussing today is portfolios, and these are a form of summative assessment or assessment of learning, as they assess student progress about what they have learned and are able to do. Often information collected can go towards student reports or what group to place them in the classroom. Portfolios are commonly a collection of purposeful work and show the students' progress and achievement over time. Students have an active part in this assessment as well, because they get to choose what work samples they would like to put in their portfolio. Portfolios are a great way as well to determine whether students have met the ACARA achievement standards. So for example, a grade 3 class may be focusing on content descriptor ACMN A054. At the end of the unit, the work samples that they have collected during this content descriptor, so such as work samples or reflections, worksheets, once they have collected this material, that can then go into a portfolio. This can then determine whether the students have made progress and whether they have met that achievement standard. So in this case, the achievement standard would be recognise the connection between addition and subtraction and solve problems using efficient strategies for multiplication. So that goes hand in hand with that content descriptor, and having that information from the portfolio will enable the teacher to check off whether the student has met that criteria. So this is a benefit of portfolios, as this information can be used for report writing and provide feedback to students and parents. They can also be useful for self-reflection, as students can see how far they've grown over time and where they can improve, and which also has a direct impact on student learning and achievement, as they can grow from that. The limitations include that there are implementation constraints. So it can take a very long time for portfolios to be complete, particularly with a large number of students. Marking them can also be a challenge. Teachers may need to create a rubric to be able to mark against them effectively. Also for this, it's important to have a focus on what you're wanting the portfolio to be about. Otherwise, the samples that are collected may provide insufficient data. So record keeping for portfolios can be done through rubrics and notes and comments on the portfolio itself, or even e-portfolios are available now and can be easily accessed by parents and students and teachers whenever necessary. So from this we can see that different types of assessment in mathematics definitely have a direct impact on student learning and achievement, as it provides them with feedback, opportunities for reflection and clarification on areas they were unsure of. And it's also important for us as teachers to be aware of the strengths and limitations of assessments, as we want the best for our students, and knowing this can help determine what areas we might need to follow up with, ensures the data that we're collecting is accurate. These are my references. Thank you very much.